shrimp export revenue, which is run by the country. But the major issues which are faced in aquaculture shrimp exports are due to antibiotics, basically chlorophyll and nitrofurans, and its metabolites, and the occurrence of shrimp pathogens, which are listed by the OIE, of which 3 major pathogens are available in India, which is white spot, IHHV, and IMNV. So these all create non-direct barriers which can be grouped into 3, and first one is antibiotics, as I said earlier, where in the major market like EU we face 50% of import inspection frequency compared to other countries. For other countries it is just 10%, and EU has delisted certain of our units because of antibiotic detections in overseas market, in EU market. And since 2017-18, 14 units were delisted, and of which we could get back only 5 units relisted, that too for the CCOT items. The new listing of units also is confined to export of CCOT shrimp and not for aquaculture products. Whereas we could get an exemption for the black tiger shrimp exports to Japan from import inspection norms, because we could demonstrate that they are free of antibiotic residues since 2013. Recurrence of antibiotic detections in Wanami is creating a risk of 100% testing of Wanami shrimp consignments in Japan, which continues now also as per the Japanese Food Safety Act. Then in US market also, they have been inspecting the consignments for antibiotic residues. The latest import alerts which had come up in April as well as in early June gives the import inspectors the provision to detain the consignment without any physical examinations if they suspect that the aquaculture shrimp consignments are suspected to contain antibiotic residues. This can create problem with the exporters to US market, because they will detain. After detention, they have to get the sample tested in a private lab and produce the results before the inspectors that they are free from antibiotics. And if the results are failed, that has to be taken off or destroyed. As told by Director in the inaugural session, there was upcoming RPA, Regulatory Partnership Agreement with USA, in which major countries like Ecuador, Indonesia, and India are party to it, which also stipulates a lot of guidelines which have to be followed, that the shrimp exported to US market is safe for the consumers. Coming to the biosecurity issue, presence of shrimp pathogens in the wild is a big issue for us. As I said, there are oil-listed pathogens, 8 of them, of which 3 are prevalent in India, and which restricts our exports to countries like Australia, Saudi Arabia, Korea, China, Canada, and Thailand. In addition to that, we also get refusals due to bacteriological contaminations in USA, EU, and Qatar, and heavy metal contaminations mainly from European market. So this table shows the list of parameters on which we get rejections mostly, but the top of the table is adorned by antibiotics residues. We also have parameters like filthy, salmonella, cadmium, etc. So coming to the core issue of antibiotics, if we see the shrimp market potential in major markets like USA, China, EU, and Japan, we almost constantly have a 42% share in US market. It has come down from 49% in 2019 to 42% in 2021 as per the trade map data. And in China, we had an 8.75% share in 2016, which had gone up to 23% in 2019, came down to 19.59 last year, in 2021. EU market, if you see, there's a constant decline in the market share. It has come down from 14% to 11.66% in 2021. Japan also has been almost constant level. So there's a lot of market opportunities which are available for aquaculture shrimp in these markets, but the detections which happen in these markets is always creating an impediment to the smooth flow of the trade. You can see we had 25 total rejections in 2018. Because of some control measures, we could bring it down to 1 last year in the EU market, but this year already we have 2 rejections in the EU market. USA we had 8 in 2018, it went up to 12 in 2020-22, but already up to June 12 we have 7 rejections. In Japan we had almost constantly 4-5 rejections up to 2021, but in 2022 we had 10 rejections, and up to 12th June we already have 8 rejections. The record number of rejections we had from these markets was in 2018, and it came down to 15, then to 20, almost 15 to 20 rejections every year we get from these markets, in addition to UK. And in 2022 we had 23 rejections altogether. And given by the trend, I am afraid that we may surpass the number of refusals this year. If we look at the aquaculture supply chain, we have the nucleus breeding center is there. From there, the broodstock are brought in here, and after quarantine, the hatcheries are getting the quarantined broodstock and post larvae, PPLs, and wherein they produce post larvae for the farmers, and the farms are being supplied by high health seeds by the hatcheries. After the crop is ready for harvest, the suppliers take the material and give it to the processors. This is the aquaculture value chain. And we have certain monitoring plans like NRCP, PHT and PAT to check bring in checks and controls over the antibiotic residues. But if we look at the entry points of aquaculture, antibiotics in aquaculture value chain, we can see that under the NRCP we get a lot of positives, around 20% positives from hatcheries. So it means that hatcheries use chloramphenicol and nitrofuran compounds in their life cycle or seed production cycle. Then we also get positives from farms. So there's a chance that antibiotic containing compounds or inputs are being used by the farms as well. So these are the two major entry points of antibiotics into the aquaculture value chain, which will then get carried over in the value chain because of the mixing of raw material by suppliers from different sources. Now we had a area where we need to educate the farmers as well as other stakeholders about this. Campaign against stocking of spurious or poor quality seeds have to be undertaken. Encourage proper pond preparation, cluster farming, and adoption of better management practices is very crucial. Awareness campaigns on disease diagnostics and actions in the event of outbreaks have to be outlined, and stakeholders have to be made aware of it. Training for state fisheries officers and farm technicians on biosecurity measures, good aquaculture practices, fresh fish handling to strengthen information dissemination among the stakeholders have to be done. Especially those, this is very critical, both these areas are very critical for those inland states which are moving towards enhancing the areas under aquaculture, because if we curtail all these issues or address all these issues at the beginning itself, we can control those issues before things go hayward. That's very critical, especially for states like Rajasthan, Haryana and Punjab. There are other food safety issues. There's a monitoring of pesticide residues at national level program is being organized by MPEDA with the support of Ministry of Agriculture. Implement of Mission of HACCP is done in seafood processing units. All the seafood processing units in India are implementing HACCP based seafood food safety system, which is being monitored by EIA and MPEDA and FSSA as well. In-process quality control is also followed by the processing units. Regular capacity building among fishers processing units are being done by MPEDA and Netfish. So to improve hygienic environment inside and outside the processing environment, we need to have more focused capacity building measures among fishers, farmers and farm workers. Most of the Netfish is doing regular capacity building exercises. NACSA is doing a lot of capacity building exercises on aquaculture practices, management practices and all. But state support is also required to make the farm workers about personal hygiene practices. It's very important. We have visited certain farms before the audit of EU and UK, we have seen that they don't have even toilets in the farm sites. They don't know how to, what is the hygiene practices they should follow in hand washing and all once they visit the toilet. So such type of syllabus shall be incorporated into the capacity building programs. Regular health checkup for farm workers is also very critical. Then a lot of unauthorized uncontrolled peeling, pre-processing activities or peeling activities going on in many states. There should be some control. Regulations shall be brought in force with the help of local self-government departments. Thank you.